So yesterday, EW put out a teaser trailer for the new map, leading us even more to think that where we're going is in Nepal. This has not been confirmed 100% yet. It's either Nepal or India, but in today's video, we are going to look at all of the species in more detail that we might find on a Nepal map. Now, let me know in the comments, guys, what one species would you like to see on a Nepal map more than anything else? And then we are also getting a new great one, and EW has confirmed that the new great one will not be found on a non-DLC map. So it's not going to be in Layton or in Hirschfelden. This is our 6th great one species to be added to the game and our first that will not be found on a base game map. So that is very, very exciting. So it could be one of these new species. It literally could be any species in the game except for the ones found in Layton and Hirschfelden. Now, somewhere in the video, guys, I am going to share a key phrase. Drop that in the comments for your chance to be featured in a video. We choose one viewer each month, and if you are on console, then it would be a voice chat also featured in a video. All right, let's head right into the video. So I found online a little blurb about hunting in Nepal that I think you guys will find very interesting. Now, this comes from the huntingconsortium.com website, and it reads, Nepal, often called the roof of the world, this small country about half of the size of Colorado has 8 of the 10 highest mountain peaks in the world, including the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, at 29,029 feet. The Great Himalayan Range contains some 240 peaks over 20,000 feet within Nepal's borders. Tourism is one of the most important industries in Nepal. The point of arrival is the capital, Kathmandu, the largest city. Now, there are 3 ecological zones in Nepal. In the Tahr, lowland forest and savannas, there are tigers, leopards, sloth bears, Indian rhinos, and water buffaloes, along with sambar, swamp deer, cheetal or axis deer, hog deer, wild pigs, nilgai, black buck, and four-horned antelope. And we're gonna have a look at all of these species in today's video. The middle zone is home to the Asian leopard, clouded leopard, snow leopard, that's a lot of leopards, golden cat, Himalayan black bear, serow, goral, musk deer, and muntjac deer, or barking deer. The alpine region holds Nepal's best-known game, the boral or blue sheep, tahr, serow, goral, wild yak, snow leopard, and ibex. In 1991, the government closed hunting for all species except for blue sheep, tahr, muntjac, hog deer, and wild boar. So does that mean those are the only 5 species you can currently hunt in Nepal? Well, I'm pretty sure that if we are getting a Nepal map, that we're gonna have more than 5 species on that map. In fact, I think we're gonna have more than 5 brand new species on that map, never mind species that are going to be brought over from pre-existing maps, like water buffalo, sambar deer, axis deer, hog deer, and wild boar, to name a few. Hunting still continues in some of the most majestic mountains on Earth for blue sheep, tahr, and muntjac. This is interesting. Listen to this, guys. Helicopters are available nowadays to speed up the ascent to the highest mountain hunting zone, but for the purist who wants a physical challenge and to enjoy the serenity of the mountains more completely, operators still offer the trekking version of the hunt, which involves a trek of 4 days, holy, to the high country. These hunts are done in the spring when the animals are found at around 1,400 to 1,500 feet, and in the fall when game moves up to 16,000 to 17,000 feet. Perhaps no other country inspires the imagination of the mountain hunter as does Nepal. Now, in yesterday's EW teaser trailer, there was a large roar that I 100% believe is a tiger. Now, some people think it could be a snow leopard, but just to show you why I think what I do, I am going to play the roar in the video for you, and then we're going to listen to a tiger roar from a completely separate video found online. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay, so here's the EW trailer. Okay, that was a very deep roar. Let's hear it one more time. Okay, so now we're gonna have a look at this tiger roar. That's definitely a tiger roar. Okay, now here is the sound of a snow leopard roaring. Definitely not a snow leopard. Definitely. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Now let's have a look at those species. So the first species we're going to have a look at is the Bengal tiger. Now, Bengal tigers have an average lifespan of 8 to 10 years in the wild. Their head and body measure 5 to 6 feet tall, and their tail is 2 to 3 feet long. They weigh 240 to 500 pounds and are the most common tiger and number about half of all wild tigers. Over many centuries, they have become an important part of Indian tradition and lore. Tigers live alone and aggressively scent mark large territories to keep their rivals away. They are powerful nocturnal hunters and travel many miles to find buffalo, deer, wild pigs, and other large mammals. Tigers use their distinctive coats as camouflage. No two have exactly the same stripes. They lie in wait and creep close enough to attack their victims with a quick spring and fatal pounce. A hungry tiger can eat as much as 60 pounds in one night, though they do usually eat less. Despite their fearsome reputation, most tigers avoid humans. However, a few do become dangerous man-eaters. These animals are often sick and unable to hunt normally or live in an area where their traditional prey has vanished. So for me, this is the #1 species that I really hope and do think is going to be on the next map, whether or not it's India or Nepal. Either way, we're getting tigers. There's no way that roar was anything but a tiger. And the fact that EW is implying that we are going to be both the hunter and the hunted. So it sounds like these tigers are going to be very highly aggressive and they are going to come after us. So this is going to be so exciting. Yes. Now, just to get you excited about hunting tigers, here we have an image of an albino, a black and white, a golden, and a Bengal tiger. Can you imagine hunting for an albino or a black and white tiger? Yes, please. Unfortunately, at this point, we do not have a release date yet, but as soon as we do, I will let you know. Make sure you're subscribed and turn that notification bell on to catch all the news coming out as soon as it breaks on the new map. Now, the next species that could be on the new map is the snow leopard, and wouldn't that be crazy? So snow leopards, known throughout the world for its beautiful fur and elusive behavior, the endangered snow leopard is found in the rugged mountains of Central Asia. Snow leopards are perfectly adapted to the cold, barren landscape of their high altitude home, but human threats have created an uncertain future for the cats. Despite a range of over 2 million square kilometers, scientists estimate that there may only be between 3,920 and 6,390 snow leopards left in the world. So it sounds like they are highly endangered, but does that mean we won't find them on a map? I think at this point, EW is totally okay with us hunting endangered species because we are not actually hurting these animals. We're shooting pixels and we're just having fun. So I have no issue with it, and I don't think EW does as well, but time will tell. So the snow leopard is usually solitary and highly elusive. They are crepuscular. Dawn and dusk are the cat's most active times. Some snow leopards have home ranges of up to 1,000 square kilometers. They're single moms for about 18 months. Females raise their cubs all alone. The snow leopard primarily lives in arid, barren mountain areas, and they are not known to be aggressive towards humans. So I don't think it's the snow leopard that's going to be hunting us. The cat's main prey are ibex, argali, and blue sheep. The next species we're going to have a look at is the sloth bear, and I would love to hunt for these. So they are solitary. They can live in captivity for up to 40 years, but any species is going to live longer in captivity than they will in the wild, fending for themselves. They weigh 120 to 310 pounds and are shaggy, dusty, and unkempt, and it says here that the reclusive sloth bear makes its home in the forests of South Asia. Emitting noisy grunts and snorts, it wanders alone, usually at night, in search of insects and fresh fruit. Sloth bears feed predominantly on termites and ants and employ a well-evolved method to dig them out. Their long, curved claws are used for penetrating nest mounds, which can be rock hard. Once they've opened a hole, they blow away excess dirt, then noisily suck out the insects through a gap in their front teeth. That's pretty cool. To do so, they close their nostrils and use their lips like a vacuum nozzle. Beyond insects, sloth bears feast on a variety of fruits and flowers, including mango, fig, and ebony. They are known to scale the occasional tree to knock down a bee honeycomb, which they will then enjoy on the ground below. It is this habitat that's given rise to their nickname, honey bears. And again, this is a threatened species. They are threatened by habitat loss and are sometimes captured for use in performances or hunted because of their aggressive behavior and destruction of crops. And then we have the Indian rhinoceros. I don't know if we're getting rhinos in the game, but wouldn't that be crazy? So Indian rhinoceroses live for about 40 years in the wild. They are herbivores, and they live primarily in northern India and in Nepal. These massive beasts have some noticeable physical differences from their African relatives. Their segmented hide looks like a formidable coat of natural body armor. It functions a bit like one also. Flexible skin between the thicker hide plates allows them to shift as the rhinoceros moves. They have sharp hearing and a keen sense of smell. They may find one another by following the trail of scent each enormous animal leaves behind it on the landscape. An Indian rhino can move very quickly when aroused. Their charges have been clocked at 30 miles an hour. Despite their bulk, they are nimble and can jump or change directions quickly. I definitely wouldn't want one of those coming after me. The Indian rhino is a grazer that travels established tunnel-like paths through its tall grass habitat, and they are huge animals. If they do put these on the new map, maybe they will just allow us to put the head mount in the lodge. We just don't have the room in the lodge for these huge animals. New lodges, please, EW. Please? That would be so amazing. The next species we're gonna have a look at already exists in Call of the Wild in Parque Fernando. So that would be the water buffalo, or Asian buffalo as it is often called, and these are the largest member of the Bovini tribe, which includes yak, bison, African buffalo, various species of wild cattle, and others. Water buffaloes spend much of their days submerged in the muddy waters of Asia's tropical and subtropical forests. Their wide, splayed, hoofed feet prevent them from sinking too deeply in wetlands and swamps. And water buffalo are at risk and live only in a small number of protected areas stretched across India, Nepal, and Bhutan, and a wildlife reserve in Thailand. Their populations are likely to diminish as they are interbred with domesticated water buffalo. So there you go. They are also protected, and we already do have them in the game. So that answers the question about having endangered species in the game. We already have them. And the next species we're going to have a look at is also already included in the game, and that would be sambar deer. So sambar deer are a species of deer from the rainforests of India, southern China, and Southeast Asia. Like most deer, male sambar have antlers while females lack them. They are an extremely common food for the likes of dholes, Indian leopards, and Bengal tigers. The sambar deer is a vulnerable species due to severe hunting, insurgency, and industrial exploitation of habitat. So we have another endangered species in the game. So yes, sambar deer can be hunted in Emerald Coast. The next species of deer we're going to have a look at is not currently found in the game yet. This is the Barasingha, or the swamp deer. So the Barasingha is a large deer with a shoulder height of 44 to 46 inches and a head to body length of nearly 6 feet. They are found in India and Nepal, and they presently occur in isolated populations across heavily fragmented range, which includes north and central India as well as southwestern Nepal. The preferred habitat of this species is tall grassland as well as reed beds of large river floodplains. However, barasingers are often seen in wooded habitats such as dry deciduous forests and mangroves. This is very interesting. It says here that barasingers are highly social creatures, gathering into single-sex herds of 10 to 20 individuals. Additionally, all ground members are usually the same age. However, they may occasionally be found in groups of mixed sex and age that are typically led by a single female, followed by other females of the herd who form a line behind her, whereas males remain in the rear. It's very interesting. A lot of animal species are exactly like this. Nevertheless, leading females are not dominant over members of the community. Barasinghas may be active at any time of the day, although they spend mornings and evenings grazing and prefer to rest during the afternoon. Males of this species are less loyal to their herds than females and frequently move between herds. And they are herbivores. And guess what? They are threatened. Jeez, it's so sad how so many animal species are threatened. So the next species is the cheetal or axis deer, and we do currently have axis deer in Parque Fernando. So axis deer, also referred to as the cheetal deer, have a unique characteristic, which is that the white spots of the young don't disappear. They remain on the brown coat of the adults. The speckled look of them is very beautiful, and it has white without spotted down the legs. They have a very long muzzle and a dark black nose at the end of it. They can range in weight from 60 to 170 pounds depending on where they live. The antlers are amazing for axis deer, and they will often have 6 points to them. However, some of the more dominant bucks have been found with more than 6 points, making them great trophies to hunt for. You will find axis deer living in secondary land areas. They tend to live around the glades where they can find plenty to eat. They also stay close to sources of water. Due to the design of their hooves, they don't do well walking on rugged terrain, so they do their best to avoid it. Large herds of them are found in many areas of Texas, and it says that they are more social than other deer species. They thrive on the interactions that occur within their herds. Due to the large size of them, they often form smaller sub-herds inside of them. It is common that a herd of axis deer is made up of 10 to 50 individuals, males and females. This is one of the few species of deer where the males are actually willing to live with the females and alongside other males. And their diet consists of grass and shoots. And they're actually really beautiful deer. Now, the next deer species is one that we currently have in Emerald Coast, and that would be the hog deer. It's actually referred to here as an Indian hog deer. Now, this is a small deer whose habitat ranges from Pakistan through northern India to mainland Southeast Asia, which inhabits much of the Indo-Gangetic plains of Pakistan, North India, Nepal, Bangladesh, southwestern Yunnan province in China, all the way to western Thailand. Introduced populations also exist in Australia, the United States, and Sri Lanka. It gets its name from the hog-like manner in which it runs through the forest with its head hung low so that it can duck under obstacles instead of leaping over them like most other deer. Cover is taken as soon as it is feasible. During flight, the tail is held erect, showing the white underside. They're very small deer. They weigh approximately 50 kilograms and stand about 70 centimeters tall at the shoulder. They're very solidly built with a long body and relatively short legs. Indian hog deer have preorbital glands on their faces just below the eyes and metatarsal glands located high on the side of the rear legs. Pedal glands are located between the cleaves or toes of their hind hooves. Predators include tigers, leopards, D-holes, and sometimes the Burmese python. And now we're going to have a look at the wild boar. So we now know for sure that we are not getting a Grade 1 wild boar. Some of you will be very happy about that, and some of you will not be. But wild boar live on average in the wild for 9 to 10 years. They're 3 to 6 feet long and weigh between 150 and 220 pounds. Wild boar, also called feral pigs or hogs, have wreaked much havoc as invasive species in recent years. Native only to Asia, parts of North Africa, and most of Europe, they now live on every continent except for Antarctica. They're not super picky about their environment either. Wild boar live in forests, steppes, grasslands, wetlands, and venture onto farmlands to forage. Wild boar are built like domestic pigs with bulky, thick-set bodies, long, mobile, cartilaginous snouts, black hooves, and medium leg tails. They're usually dark brown or black but can be a variety of colors and have thick skin covered with a coat of coarse hair. Boars have an extra thick layer of protective skin known as the shield or shoulder plate, which helps protect them in fights for mating rights. Their faces are also weaponized with tusks that they can use as daggers for fighting and in self-defense. And they are omnivores and eat plants, fruits, crops, roots, and nuts. Next, we're going to have a look at the nilgai. The nilgai is an antelope and is one of the most commonly seen wild animals of central and northern India and eastern Pakistan. It is also present in parts of southern Nepal. The mature males appear ox-like and are also known as blue bulls. The nilgai is the biggest Asian antelope. Their family group includes single-sex or mixed herds of 4 to 20 individuals. Old bulls may be solitary, and their diet includes leaves, buds, grasses, and fruit, and their predators are tigers, leopards, wolves, and D-holes. And now we have the black buck, and black bucks can currently be hunted in Parque Fernando. So black bucks are a species of antelope found mainly in India and also in some parts of southern Nepal and Pakistan, though it has also been introduced in Texas and Argentina. It is one of the fastest of all terrestrial animals, reaching to speeds of up to 80 kilometers an hour, and is one of the few antelopes where males and females have distinct coloration, as the male bucks are a distinctive black and white and have long twisted horns, while females are fawn-colored with no horns. During the last century, black buck range and numbers have declined sharply due to excessive hunting, increasing numbers of livestock, and humans destroy black buck habitat. Some black bucks are killed illegally, especially where they co-occur with nilgai. Black bucks are hunted for their flesh and skin. Occasional incidents of poaching still occur. The remaining populations are under threat from inbreeding. The natural habitat of the black buck is being encroached upon by local people who need arable land and grazing ground for their livestock. Exposure to livestock also exposes them to bovine diseases. So we certainly have quite a few endangered species in the game, way more than I realized. And here we have the four-horned antelope, or chusinga. So the four-horned antelope is a small antelope found in India and Nepal. Its four horns distinguish it from most other bovids, which have two horns, with a few exceptions such as the Jacob sheep. One pair of horns is located between the ears and the other on the forehead. The posterior horns are always longer than the anterior horns, which might be mere fur-covered studs. Now this here is a clouded leopard. Oh, they look amazing. So clouded leopards are 2 to 3 feet tall, and their tail measures up to 3 feet long. They only weigh up to 50 pounds. So they're a beautiful Asian cat named for its spotted coat and are seldom seen in the wild, and its habits remain a bit mysterious. Clouded leopards roam the hunting grounds of Asia, from the rainforest of Indonesia to the foothills of the Nepali Himalayas. Though little information is known about their population sizes, they are considered a vulnerable species. And we have a theme, don't we? Most cats are good climbers, but the clouded leopard is near the top of its class. These big cats can even hang upside down beneath large branches using their large paw and sharp claws to secure a good grip. Clouded leopards have short, powerful legs equipped with rotating rear ankles that allow them to safely down climb in a head-first posture, much like a common squirrel. Sharp eyesight helps them judge distances well, and the cat uses their long tails to maintain balance. Though clouded leopards are great climbers, scientists believe that they do most of their hunting on the ground, feasting on deer, pigs, monkeys, and smaller fares such as squirrels or birds. They are aided in their hunting by their largest canine teeth of any wild cat, and they are absolutely beautiful. And we have another cat, and I've actually never seen these before. This is an Asiatic golden cat, a cat of many colors. The Asiatic golden is about the size of a large ocelot. Its pelt normally is uniform in color, but also can be marked with spots and stripes in a pattern similar to that of the leopard. They are endangered. They live up to 20 years in the wild. They weigh 12 to 15 kilograms or 26 to 33 pounds and are 116 to 161 centimeters or 46 to 64 inches in length and 40 centimeters tall or 16 inches. So they're pretty small. They're primarily a nocturnal hunter. They do prefer ground level. They can climb trees when necessary, killing large prey up to the size of small deer with a decisive bite to the neck. The Asiatic golden cat also feeds on smaller quarry such as birds, lizards, rodents, and other small mammals. The Asiatic golden cat is found from Tibet, Nepal, and Sikkim through southern China, Myanmar, Thailand, Peninsular Malaysia, and Sumatra. And then we have the long-tailed goral. So these are a species of ungulate of the family Bovidae found in the mountains of eastern and northern Asia, including Russia, China, and Korea. The tips of their horns curve back and have distinct rings. There are openings between their hooves. The face of the goral is flat like that of a serow, and the nose and eyes are very close together. These animals have brown fur with shades of gray. The outer fur is long. The bushy tail is usually dark brown or black in color. Females are usually lighter in shade than males, and their horns are smaller than males' horns. They're kind of funny looking. They prefer high elevations with rocky, dry, steep, cliff-ridden mountains. Long-tailed gorals live near sparsely vegetated cliffs with small crevices where they can hide from danger. These areas are sometimes covered by evergreen and deciduous forests, and gorals sometimes can feed on exposed grassy ridges. They're social animals and live in herds with 2 to 12 individuals. These groups include females, kids, and younger males. Older males tend to be solitary, and they are herbivores, and they are threatened as well. Kind of insane. Now the next species we're going to have a look at is definitely going to be on the new map. It was found in the teaser trailer, and that is the southern red muntjac deer. So it reads online that this is a deer species native to Southeast Asia. The muntjac has soft, short, brownish or grayish hair, sometimes with creamy markings. It is amongst the smallest deer species. It is an omnivore and eats grass, fruit, shoots, seeds, bird eggs, and small animals, and occasionally scavenges on carrion. Its calls sound like barking, often when frightened by a predator, hence the common name of the barking deer. Males have canines, short antlers that usually branch just once near the base, and a large post-orbital scent gland used to mark territories. Predators of these deer include tigers, leopards, clouded leopards, pythons, crocodiles, D-holes, Asiatic black bears, fishing cats, Asian gold cats, and golden jackals. That's a lot of predators, yikes! They are highly alert creatures. When put into a stressful situation or if a predator is sensed, muntjacs will begin making a bark-like sound. Barking was originally thought of as a means of communication between the deer during mating season as well as on alert. They are very, very cool and very different looking, aren't they? So I'm pretty excited to hunt for these. What about you guys? And then we have the Baral, or Himalayan blue sheep. The short, dense coat of a Baral is slate gray in color, sometimes with a bluish sheen. The underparts and backs of the legs are white, while the chest and fronts of the legs are black. Separating the gray back and white belly is a charcoal colored stripe. The ears are small and the bridge of the nose is dark. The horns are found in both sexes and are ridged on the upper surface. Baral are active throughout the day, alternating between feeding and resting on the grassy mountain slopes. Due to their excellent camouflage and the absence of cover in their environment, Baral remain motionless when approached. Once they have been noticed, however, they scamper up to the precipitous cliffs where they once again freeze, melting into the rock face. Population densities in Nepal were found to be 0.9 to 2.7 animals per square kilometer, increasing to a maximum of 10 animals per square kilometer in the winter as herds congregate in valleys. The Baral is considered a low-risk, near-threatened species by the IUCN, but they actually do let you hunt for blue sheep when you go on hunting trips in Nepal, so that's very interesting. Now here's a species that I really hope will be on the new map and maybe be backfilled and added to Te Awaroa, and that would be the Himalayan tahr. Now the Himalayan tahr has a small head, small pointed ears, large eyes, and horns that vary between males and females. Their horns reach a maximum length of 46 centimeters or 18 inches. Himalayan tahr are sexually dimorphic, with females being smaller in weight and in size and having smaller horns. The exterior of a tahr is well adapted to the harsh climate of the Himalayas. They sport thick reddish wool coats and thick undercoats, indicative of the conditions of their habitat. Their coats are thin with the end of winter and become lighter in color. This shedding is presumably an adaptation that allows their internal body temperatures to adjust to the harsh temperatures of the Himalayan mountains. As a member of the ungulate group of mammals, the Himalayan tahr has an even number of toes. They have adapted the unique ability to grasp both smooth and rough surfaces that are typical of the mountainous terrain on which they reside. This useful characteristic also helps their mobility. The hooves of the tahr have a rubber-like core which allows for gripping smooth rock, while keratin at the rim of their hooves allows for increased hoof durability, which is important for traversing the rocky ground. This adaptation allows for confident and swift maneuvering of the terrain, and they are found in China, India, Nepal, and Bhutan. They live in all male and all female herds that usually include up to 80 members. Holy! Their short legs allow them to balance while reaching for the leaves of shrubs and small trees. And then we have the wild yak. The wild yak can be found at altitudes of between 4,000 and 6,100 meters in China, India, and possibly Nepal. They were once found in Bhutan, but are now extinct here. Their thick woolly undercoat and shaggy hair help to insulate them from the cold, while their large heart, lungs, and high concentrations of red blood cells allow them to survive at such high altitudes. Wild yaks mostly live in herds that can contain over 100 animals. Some males will travel with females and young, however, older males are more likely to be solitary. Females with young tend to prefer higher, steeper slopes than those on which bachelor groups of males can be found. Along with poaching, a major threat to wild yaks is interbreeding with domestic yaks. There are up to 13 million domestic yak, while there are fewer than and 15,000 wild yak remaining. So that was quite a few species. I'm sure we won't get all of them on a new map, but I think we will get some of them. Which ones would you guys like to see the most on the new map? For me, it is tigers and snow leopards, but this new map, one way or the other, is going to be completely amazing, and I so cannot wait until it comes out. When we do have more info from EW, I will definitely let you guys know. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you don't miss anything, and thank you guys so much for watching. And I'm gonna recommend that you watch this video next.